Today I want to chat with you a little bit about using our time wisely, or making the most of the time that we have in the day, because let's just face it, there's never enough time in the day to do all the things that need to be done as a homemaker, as a mom. It never can all get done. As much as we want it to, it cannot all get done. This morning, first thing, it's about 7-ish, and we are bringing in our Kroger delivery order. I have been so spoiled. We got a Kroger credit card to get the cheaper gas for a year. You get like 55 cents off every time you redeem 10 points, 55 cents off a gallon. And so it was a no-brainer for us to take advantage of that. Kroger is our favorite place to shop for groceries anyway, but along with that came free Kroger delivery for a year. At first, I didn't think that I was going to like it, because I'm one of those people who really enjoy going into the grocery store. But there are times that getting the delivery order saves so much time that it is worth it. And if I still want to go in the store and take a look around for a few minutes, sometimes we'll get out in the evenings. My husband will stay in the car with the kiddos, drop me off so that I can run in and take a look around. I really love to look at the clearance and all of the deals, see if there's any reduced bananas or any type of produce that I could make use of. This is one of those things that you have to determine, is it worth my time getting out with all of my kids, the time that it's going to take to load them up, get them in the store, drag them around, making sure that they're behaving, and I just don't know, sometimes it's not worth it. Sometimes it's better for me to just spend my evening while my husband and I are relaxing, watching a show. I will do our Kroger delivery order, make sure that I have everything for the week or so, and it'll be delivered the next morning. I usually pick the very first time slot, which is like 7 to 9, and this morning they actually delivered like right around 7, and normally it's closer to 9, so I had to get up quickly and go ahead and bring everything in. Thankfully, my 5-year-old, he is up at the crack of dawn every day lately, it seems, so he was able to help me bring all the groceries in while the other two are sleeping. So we got all of those in. I got some bananas out of the freezer thawing so that we can make some banana muffins here in a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and make my morning coffee, and I'm going to sit down with my 5-year-old, and we're going to go ahead and start on our schoolwork for today. You know, our routine, it is got a similar flow every day, but you know, it changes, and that's something that you have to be able to do as a homemaker, is being flexible and then just finding those pockets of time and being able to use those in a way that's going to be productive for you and help you out later on. And so I knew I'm going to be making muffins later today. I need to go ahead and get these bananas out now. It will only take a few seconds, but it will save me later having to wait. I also got some bread baking in the oven while we are working on school this morning. This is a loaf of bread that I wanted to deliver to our new neighbors, so I wanted to make sure I got that done first thing. And so that is just one way that I make sure I'm getting things done in these little pockets of time. I set out the bananas to thaw. We will use those later while we're working on school. I've got the bread in the oven baking. Now I'm drinking my coffee and we're doing school at the same time. Once all the kids were up, they are ready for breakfast. We're taking our vitamins, and then we're going to get started on school here in just a few minutes. I just wanted to take a few minutes away from the video to tell you about something I'm super excited about that we've started using for my kids. It is a vitamin called Hiya, and it is a kids chewable multivitamin. Some really great things about Hiya is that it has 0 grams of added sugar. It is not a gummy vitamin. Kids only have to take 1 vitamin a day instead of multiple. You have a reusable bottle, so every time that you get a new shipment of vitamins, it just gets dumped into the bottle that you already have, so that's
less waste, but also the bottle is so cute because they come in the mail with stickers. Your kids get to decorate it however they want to, which makes them really excited about their vitamins. I was a little bit hesitant at first since it wasn't a gummy vitamin if my kids were going to enjoy it or not, but I was pleasantly surprised. They ask me for it every single day. It's not something I have to force them to take, and honestly I don't even have to remember it because they remember it for me. Not only do they offer a multivitamin, but they now offer a vitamin with iron. They also have a vitamin specifically for bedtime to help kids with going to sleep a little bit easier. They also offer a probiotic vitamin as well. Right now they are offering a special summer discount for 50% off your first order, but you can also get additional 20% off if you use my link. If you want to try out Hiya Vitamins, I highly suggest scrolling down to the description box below and checking out my link and getting an additional 20% off of the already 50% off that you're going to get off your first order. Plus, you'll even get free shipping.
Before we go ahead and do the rest of our schoolwork for today, we are grabbing our breakfast, and I'm go ahead and line the muffin tins so they'll be ready for later on. I already divided my pizza dough and have that sitting out on the counter, as you can see, and that is going to be part of our dinner tonight, and then some extra that I'm going to put in the freezer. Also, while the kids are eating their breakfast, I'm going to go ahead and make some yogurt popsicles. Right now I'm popping some egg muffins and a blueberry muffin out of the fridge and handing that to one of my kids. They like cold food for some reason. They like cold hot dogs, they like cold muffins, they like cold pizza, and I know that is a somewhat normal thing, but for me, I don't like cold pizza, I don't like cold muffins, and I definitely don't like cold hot dogs. So it's just kind of a strange thing to me, but you know, kids, whatever makes them happy, as long as, you know, they're healthy and safe and all that. I love making these yogurt popsicles for them. This is my homemade yogurt that I make in the Instant Pot. I have a recipe over on the blog, littletennessehome.com, how you make that. They love these simple yogurt pops. We call them yo-yo pop. I put frozen blueberries in there, pour in some yogurt, do a few more blueberries, and then put the little holders in each of the slots. Freeze them, and everybody loves them. My oldest is starting to want them to be a little bit sweeter. He likes it better when I use my sweetened yogurt that has fruit already blended in with it. It is naturally sweetened with dates and honey, and I kind of use like a yogurt drink type thing for that, and I also have a recipe for that as well on the blog, and just like a kid's drinkable yogurt, and I also will just freeze those, and they really love those. Even my 1-year-old, she will go to town eating those, and I just love that they enjoy the homemade yogurt because I know that it is full of the good, healthy probiotics that are so good for their gut, and so I don't have to worry about giving them probiotics a lot of the time because I know that they are getting it through their yogurt. We also do water kefir some, but I have not been very good about that lately. It is still hanging out in my refrigerator. I am hoping that I did not kill it. I think that they'll be fine, so we'll find out here in a month or so when I decide to revive it and take it out of its little dormant state. Here is my potato flake sourdough loaf that I made for our neighbors. This is another recipe over on the blog. This is just the single loaf instead of making the 2 or 3 loaf recipe. After this, I'm going to get started on our banana muffins. So I just mixed up my frozen bananas. They were thawed, got those mixed with the hand mixer, added in the rest of my ingredients to my banana muffins. I realized after I had already scooped all of the muffins into the muffin liners that I forgot to put in the walnuts, and I was so upset because I really love the nuts in the muffins. However, my 5-year-old was very excited because he does not like the nuts in there, which I've mentioned this before. I make these muffins all of the time on this channel. I even have a separate video showing you exactly how I make them, so you're probably get tired of me making them, but this is just something that I make almost every week. If I make a huge batch, I might make it every other week instead. It's like a 1/4 of a cup scoop, and I got it off Amazon. I can link that below. But this has been a game changer for scooping muffins because it is like the perfect amount, and it is so easy to scoop, click, it plops out, and we're ready to move on to the next muffin. And they all cook evenly. I cover the top of them with a little bit of coconut sugar, and that's totally optional, but it does give it a nice flavor, so I really do like putting that on the top. This is just kind of one of my ways that I use my time in a very strategic way. You know, I get my kid started on something for school, which he was doing something, and then I'm not really sure what he's doing right now in this video, but you know, he was working on something for school. He probably was cutting something out, and then he was throwing the scraps away. But while he was cutting out, I was filling in the muffin liners, getting them in the oven, and every now and then, you know, I'd go check on it after he is started on a different aspect of his school for today. It's just one of those things where I used to be very close-minded about tasks. I needed to complete one task before I moved on to another one. I wasn't very good. I guess it's kind of multitasking, but at the same time, I'm not really trying to do all of these tasks at one time. It's just I'm moving from one task to another at the time that makes sense. This is almost lunchtime, and I realize I need to get these pizza dough. Go ahead, cook those. I don't want them overproofing out on the counter. So I stretch them out, and then I poke holes with a fork. I really need to invest in a pizza docker, which is just a tool that has a bunch of little like pokey things, and you can either roll it on the dough, or they have some that's just like flat and you hit it on the dough and it pokes little holes in the bottom and prevents them from bubbling up. The fork does a pretty good job, but I still had quite a few that bubbled up. So like I said, it's about lunchtime, so I'm also kind of doing two things at once here again, doing a little bit of the dough in between making different lunch plates for my kids. My husband got to come home for lunch today, and so that was really helpful. He sat in there and ate with them while I finished up working on the pizza dough, and that really saved me a lot of time. Speaking of saving time, I wanted to mention a few other practical ways to make the most of your time. So this one, I questioned whether I was going to say it or not, but just here it goes. You know, we all spend time using the bathroom, and sometimes it takes longer than others to go to the bathroom, and you can use that time wisely. I have a meal planning app called Plan to Eat, and sometimes I use that time in the bathroom to sit there and plan a few meals for the next week. Do I have to use these meals on the exact day that I put them on? No, it's just a great guideline to know what I'm going to be making the next week, so that I know what ingredients that I might need to buy and add to my pickup order or to my delivery order. And that is just another way to practically use your time instead of sitting there scrolling Instagram. So if you want to try out the Plan to Eat app, check out my link below, and you can save 20% off your first year. And if you just want to give it a try, they do have a free trial period, which that's how I started out, but I've been using it for about 5 years now. Going ahead and getting these pizza crust par baked ahead of time is going to save me a lot of time later whenever it is time to make dinner. That's another thing, just kind of planning ahead and fitting stuff in before it's going to be a really difficult time to try to get something done or rush to get something done. Right now I printed out and I'm laminating some of our kindergarten next unit resources. So we went ahead and started kindergarten earlier this year just because he wanted to. He wanted to keep going. We finished preschool early and he wanted to keep moving, and it has been really helpful for us. He likes to be on a routine. It helps everybody else in the house because we have a very similar routine every day because we have school. He just enjoys learning. We'll take breaks periodically. I went ahead and got this printed out because he has just finished the first unit and we're moving on to the second. There's 4 units in his kindergarten curriculum that we're using. It is Gather Round, and we have really enjoyed it. We also use some of the Good and the Beautiful, and we like both of those. They're very print and go type curriculums, not too much prep. This does require a little bit of prep for this unit just because it has some extra math manipulatives, but it is very minimal, and you do it one time at the very beginning of the unit and then it's done for the rest of the unit. And so I feel like that is pretty reasonable, especially as a former kindergarten teacher who used to laminate and laminate and laminate and laminate and cut things out all the time. Honestly, that was like my husband's side gig. When I come home from work, he would be cutting and helping me sort things, put them in little Ziploc bags. But now I don't have to do that as much anymore, which is kind of nice. Now I'm working on a different laminating task. It is a Cradle Roll Nursery book, which I am going to be selling that on my Teachers Pay Teachers and possibly Etsy, and I'll post a link to that in the description box below, but it'll be on my blog talking about it first. This one I am giving to the nursery class at my church. I have compiled all of the songs that are sung in a nursery class for, you know, babies and toddlers, and I'm very excited about it. So if you are interested in it, I won't keep, you know, boring the people who have no interest, but if you're interested in it, check out the link below and it will take you to the blog post that will tell you all about it, and also where you can purchase it if you want to for your church or just for personal use at home. I have spent, you know, the afternoon printing, laminating, cutting, and now it is time for me to get dinner going. I, you know, have the crust ready already, but my little girl is only taking a nap for so long, and it's better if I can go ahead and get started on dinner before I get her up. And so I cut up some chicken that was already cooked. I had stuck in the freezer from leftover rotisserie chicken that we had gotten a week or 2 ago. Let that thaw overnight. I chopped it up, mixed it up with some of my homemade barbecue sauce that I also pulled out of the freezer. And I had made that a couple weeks ago before we went to Gatlinburg, whenever I made a lot of barbecue for our trip. This is going to be fairly easy. I cut up some onions, sauteed them, put that on the top. So the pizza is going to be a barbecue bacon pizza, or chicken barbecue bacon pizza, and it is kind of a copycat from Mellow Mushroom, because we had that when we were in Chattanooga and it was so delicious. So I looked at what ingredients they used, and that's kind of how I based my pizza today. So I did mozzarella cheese, the barbecue chicken, the sauteed red onion, cut up some bacon, put that on, topped it with a little bit more mozzarella cheese and a little bit of sharp cheddar cheese, and then swirled some of the barbecue sauce on the top. Of course, the kiddos, what they just wanted their plain cheese pizza, so I made that for them. But this barbecue chicken pizza was amazing, and I plan to write up a recipe for that. It probably won't be done by the time this video comes out, but I will eventually have it on the blog. But it's a pretty straightforward process if you want to give it a go. I would love for you to let me know in the comments below. Finally, I let the muffins cool because I don't like putting them in the fridge when they're still hot. So I let them cool, put them in these little containers I got from Dollar Tree back a while ago. Now we are ready for our pizza dinner. Like I said, it's difficult to get everything done in the day. It doesn't happen. It just doesn't. And that's something I've had to come to terms with. But being able to manage my time wisely by fitting in things in different parts of the day, it makes things so much easier. And just trying to use your time wisely, and I hate to say it, but keep the social media to a minimum, because that will suck your time away. But it is true. That is another way that you can be wise with your time. So we had to run to Walmart, grab these large bags so that I could put our pizza crust in them, and it was perfect fit. Now I can freeze them and then have them for another time. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe so that you can see more videos like this. I'll make more homemaking videos and videos about my potato flake starter. Thank you again for watching. See you again soon.